Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today we're working on my own 1996 Mercury Mystique. It's in really nice shape. It's got 283,000 miles on it. And today I want to address a clunking, popping sound coming from the left rear. Especially whenever I'm making a left turn and go over bumps, you can feel something in the suspension in the back just not happy. And I looked everything over. You know, nothing's loose, the sway bar is not loose, so what could it be? Well, I noticed that the left rear strut is all wet and leaking oil, so that's not good. I'm suspecting the strut internally is just damaged or defective or something, because I replaced both of the rear struts about, let's see, 3 years ago or 30,000 miles ago, not too long ago, and one of them's already making bad sounds. The one on the right side looks nice and dry, you know, no issues there, nice and quiet. So maybe it just got a bad one. And it was OEM Motorcraft. So I went to Rock Auto, got another one, and if you own an older vehicle, you're looking for parts, Rock Auto often has these wholesale closeout deals. I got these, like one strut's 25 bucks. You can't beat that. Brake pads like $6 for a nice set. So get them while the parts are there, because wholesale closeout deal means they're gonna run out soon and they're not gonna restock them. So let's get this strut in and see how it drives. I also want to try out a new tool for this project. This company URCERI sent me a air impact gun, 1/2 inch. I'm like, sure, I'll try it out, why not? So it's similar in size to the Nano. Again, the Nano is a bit shorter, and compared to the big boy Earthquake, it's really small and portable. I've actually not used the air guns too much since buying these two tools, because simply you don't have to connect an air hose. But in some situations where it's tight access but you still want a lot of torque, the air tools do provide an advantage. So here's what comes in the kit: some sockets, air hose adapter, an oiler, some Teflon tape. That's pretty sweet. So what I want to use for the coupler is actually one of these high flow Milton adapters. I got these a little while ago just to see if supplying more air will give the tools a lot more oomph, and they do work. They provide a lot more airflow, see, compared to a standard fitting. So to make a fair comparison, the Nano has a big adapter, so we're going to pop this guy in and try it out on this project. First thing, let's pop the wheel off, obviously. I'm going to use their provided extension with a 19mm socket. Okay. So here's our tool, and the actual lever here is interesting. That's forward and that's reverse. So the switch is right here, and then it looks like it has 3 torque settings. 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to try it with all of them. And for that high flow coupler, you need the female end as well. I'm running 150 psi. So here's torque setting 1. Wow, that's pretty ballsy. Let's try in torque setting 3. so that's probably one. Ooh, not enough. So I don't think this it really doesn't seem like this dial does anything. Seems like it's the same airflow. Maybe forward. Okay, so we just control the forward airflow, but then in reverse you always have maximum airflow. It's pretty loud. Let's see if the Nano can take it off with this extension. Alright, got the Nano hooked up. Maximum, let's see, number 1, weak sauce, 2, 3, so it looks like, so far, Nano is not ahead. Just because we're using the extension, I think. Without the extension, should have no problems. All right. So here's our setup here. These struts are Ford style with the pinch bolt that goes into our knuckle. And then a little annoying part is this piece right here, it's a welded bracket, you know, for the bottom like bump stop. It goes against the subframe. So the spring right now is a little bit compressed. So even if you take this off, the strut will still be wedged in there. So I think the path of least resistance here is to lower the subframe just a bit. It's only 4 bolts, and that should make it easier. Let's clean up all this dirt. First, let's remove this brake hose from the strut bracket. Just a little clip. Send that out of the way. Now let's see if the new air ratchet can handle this pinch bolt. A little coil for good luck. Alright, it's in reverse. Nope. No go. I'll give the Nano one more chance. I have my doubts. Man, the Nano seems kind of weak, doesn't it? Unless you're like Eric O running 200 PSI air. Well, I don't know if I should be lazy and just use the earthquake. Yeah. Well, first let's use the baby earthquake. It's only 3/8, so with an adapter, again, I doubt it's going to work. Man, it seems really ballsy though. And finally, the big guy. You can see it almost doesn't fit. Yeah, that was pretty tight in there. Yeah, the rust does its thing. So even the earthquake kind of had to struggle just a little bit. Let's see what's next. Let's do the subframe. Lower that a little bit until the spring decompresses. Before we unbolt the subframe, let's just knock on this. Make sure you can slide down. It's going. Now, will this go far enough? That's my question. It has to go pretty far. So instead of fighting that sway bar, let's just disconnect it. Let's see if we can get in here with our... Oh, come on. I guess it's not short enough. Come on. Let's see if our new gun can do this job. Forward. Let's go back. Wow. Well, it does look like it has a little more power than the Nano. Now that sway bar is free, and we can drive the strut down. Alright, now let's see if we can drive knuckle all the way off. Alright. Keep in mind this brake hose is kind of the limiting factor, but it's still good. So no messing around for this part. We're going to use the Earthquake with an extension. It's a 15 millimeter. Okay, good. The strut is actually decompressed. So I only needed a little bit. And now, all we need to do is last two little bits here. Two 10 millimeter bolts up there. And I think even a little DeWalt 20 volt can handle this. They're sure using a lot of tools. Good. Wiggle this guy out of here. There we go. Plenty of room now. There she comes. Now it's just a matter of swapping over the spring to our new strut, and I kind of want to see what's up with this one. Why was it clunking so bad? Maybe we can cut it apart and see what's wrong inside. Alright, so we got the strut set up in the vise. We're going to use a couple spring compressors. To compress the spring just a little bit, take the tension off of the strut itself. This is a very light spring, so no worries about using these. Cheap compressors. Alright, and we'll just pop the nut off. So this is easy enough. Just use a hex wrench to spin that guy out. I'll compress the springs a little bit. That's it, no explosions. Everything's nice. So that's the cap. This is our spring. This is our bump stop. Alright, here's the new strut. So we'll compress it, take off the little stopper plate. You can see it's coming out, so it's gas pressurized. First thing we'll put on this bump stop. And actually, it does trap moisture in here, so might as well spray it down with our favorite protective coating. So in this case, just use a adjustable wrench and a 18mm. That's all there is to it. New strut is ready to install. Alright, I got the strut mostly installed. The last thing we need to do is drive it into the knuckle. So this cutout here, see if I can get a little better light on there. See, the cutout needs to align with the bolt hole. And the way that I do that is use the spring, lightly load the strut with a jack, compress it, and then just tap on here with an air hammer until this cutout actually, the knuckle will migrate up the strut, since the strut spring is pushing the whole shaft down. So we have a little bit more to go. I'll look at it from this side. About it. for the bolt hole, I actually have to drill the rust out of there. So our bolt here will fit right through. So we're not quite there yet. And then instead of fluid film, I'm going to use marine grease. Water resistant grease. This stuff should just stick to everything and rust proof it, because I don't want this bolt seizing in there. You can see it's already pitted, and if it gets really bad, it can snap off, and that's definitely not good. So anti-seize, fluid film, all that stuff only works so well, but I'm just going to coat everything in marine grease and try that to prevent any problems taking this stuff apart in the future. Well, I'm going to take the Mystique for a spin. Hopefully that clunking and snapping noise goes away. But what do we learn about our power tools here? Here's my collection. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, I'm going for the electric stuff. Just for convenience, and in the field, these guys cannot be beat. I'm very impressed with the Earthquakes from Harbor Freight. Very powerful. This thing will outdo the IR Classic 231 any day, and you know, new technology. These little guys, they have their use, but I've really not been using them all that much at all. If you really need to break a fastener, you know, loose in a tight spot, just use a breaker bar, get it loose, and then use one of these guys to back it out. Milwaukee, DeWalt, great tools. So the URCERI, it has a little more guts than the Nano, but again, it's a little bit longer, and in some situations that's, you know, could make it or break it, I guess. But I like all these tools. All serve me well so far, and they're all going strong. So hope you enjoyed that one, and thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Well, a little bonus footage. We replaced the leaking strut, but that was not the cause of the clunking sound. I took the car for a test drive, and it would only do it after a sharp left going over bumps. Here's what it is. Here's the exhaust pipe. You know, it's not hitting anything, but if you go over a bump and if you're turning left, what the heck? It's hitting this hook right here. Now this is an aftermarket replacement exhaust because the original one, the top, rotted out. And this one is also rotting out, even though it's stainless steel. Supposedly, that's all garbage. But how do we fix this? Well, let's think of something. Well, here's the quick and dirty solution. Put another exhaust hanger over here to shift the muffler to the left. So now it can't swing as much, and there's plenty of clearance between the can and this tow hook or whatever. Beautiful. Alright, I like it. No more banging around. So, misdiagnosed, replaced a part that was failing, I guess. I mean, leaking strut, that's no good. And then finally got to the root cause of the problem. Really not all that bad. But keep the old cars on the road. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.